Hey everybody, CalebCast number 79 for Tuesday, April 17th. Just wanted to give you guys the full story here of what happened with the Bike Sting 2012, as I posted on Twitter. Emily's laughing at me. She's been making fun of me for thinking I'm a private investigator. Basically, on Saturday, the 14th, Mom's bike was stolen. From what we understand, was stolen off the back of her car at Faulkner Park in Tyler. She was meeting Dad out there to go for a ride, and she put her bike on her car and drove out to Faulkner Park and was sitting in her car. And as soon as Dad pulled up on his bike, a few minutes after she got there, she got out and her bike wasn't there. So they reported it stolen, and the Tyler police came out and filed a police report, and we immediately spread the word through social media that everybody should be on the lookout for it. Well, one of the guys on Monday morning, and Mom losing her bike is really more than just, that she can't ride her bike anymore. I mean, she's had a really tough last few months with a lot of things that have gone on in her family, and riding her bike is one of the few ways that she could really just get out and relax and sort of de-stress a little bit. And so, to me, it was important that we try to find it, not just because we wanted to get the bike back so they wouldn't have to get another one, but just as sort of a reminder that that God is faithful and that He's looking out for us and that He cares for our every need. And so we started looking on Craigslist, and first thing Monday morning, a guy from the Tyler Bike Club posted that he had saw it in Craigslist Dallas. So Dad immediately notified the Tyler Police Department, and the only problem with recovering the bike was they didn't have the serial number of the bike. So if you're watching this now and you have a bike, or actually any electronic or any valuable item in your home, you should definitely get the serial numbers off of it as soon as possible. So the Tyler Police said, they'd love to help, but they really couldn't do anything without the serial number being able to positively identify it. So after really not getting anywhere with them on Monday, this morning I created, or actually I have several dormant Gmail accounts, and so I used one of those that wasn't connected with my name or Tyler in any way, and I created a new Google Voice number, which, if you guys don't know, is a voicemail and phone service that Google offers for free, but you can choose a number with any area code. So I've created a new Google Voice number and selected a 972 area code, so the guy wouldn't think that I was from Tyler and think that I was connected in any way with the bike to begin with. So messaged him several times using this 972 number, and sort of gained his confidence that I was interested in the bike and that I wanted to meet up with him. But being in Dallas, I knew that it would be difficult to find him. So I told him I was coming from Dallas, and could I meet him somewhere? And the guy said, well, he replied back and said, well, I'm actually in Canton. I'm actually from Canton, and so that's where I live. And so I said, okay, well, let me see if I can work it out. Maybe we can meet you there tonight in Canton. And the guy messaged me back a little while later and said, well, actually, right now I'm in Kilgore. And so when I heard that, I was like, wow, because if you guys know, I work in Kilgore. So I said, well, I have a friend who works in Kilgore. Maybe we could arrange, for you to meet up with him, and then he could get the bike to me. And so he said, yeah, that's no problem. So continued asking him questions about the bike and the condition of the bike, just to let him know that I was an interested buyer, and try to not scare him off. And then he said, well, I said, can you meet at the Walmart in Kilgore at 4:45? And he said, well, actually right now I'm in White House. Could I meet your friend in Tyler? And so I was like, okay, great. So Dad had continued contact with the Tyler Police Department, with the sergeant on the police department, and then let him know that we were arranging to meet in Tyler. So we set up the meeting to happen at the Walmart on Troop Highway in Tyler at 5:30. So I got off of work, and I got home a little after 5, and I changed clothes, and I went over there, and I told him to be expecting a black Altima with a bike rack on the back of the car. So I pulled into the Walmart parking lot, and Dad, talking with the sergeant, said that they were going to have some police support there ready to go. So, and through this whole thing, the Tyler Police Department was really, really helpful. So, I pulled into the Walmart parking lot. I got out of my car, and I was standing there for maybe about 30 seconds. This was right at 5:30. The guy pulls in, and I had previously asked him what model of car so that I could identify him. And I figured that, you know, if he was trying to be really deceptive, he wouldn't tell me. But he did. He told me he was driving a white Toyota Camry. So I was there for literally just, you know, probably less than a minute standing outside my car, and he pulls up in the Toyota Camry. So he gets out of the car, just a couple of words, and I said, yeah, let me check out the bike. And he said, okay. And he goes around to his trunk, and he starts pulling the bike out. And I knew right away, which I knew before from some pictures that he had sent me, that it was definitely Mom's bike, no doubt about it being Mom's bike. So he started pulling the bike out and assembling it, and he got the front. He had the wheels taken off. He got the front wheel on. He got the back wheel on, and as he was tightening the lever for the back wheel, two Tyler Police squad cars pulled in on either side of us and pulled to within just a few feet of where we were standing. And you could tell from the look on the guy's face that he was completely in shock, that he was not expecting this at all. He had not suspected that I was being anything other than honest with him. And so the Tyler Police immediately jumped out. There was 2 patrol officers there and 2 bike officers there and a plainclothes detective in an unmarked car. So the officers jump out of the car and they say, come over to the car right now. We need to ask you some questions about the bike. The bike's stolen. We've had a report that the bike is stolen. And the guy immediately, you know, started, he was obvious that he was very shocked, and this is not a common occurrence for him. And so he immediately walked over to the car and started talking to the cops and said, I didn't steal this bike. I found this bike. I didn't steal it at all. I found it. And and so the detective asked him to talk in the detective's car. So the guy left to talk with the detective in his detective's car, and we were standing around with the other police officers and looking at the bike and checking it out. And actually there was some damage on the bike, some scratches that kind of matched what his story was, that the bike did fall off of Mom's car, and he didn't actually steal it off of her car while she was sitting there, which seems to make more sense, because you would think that she would notice if somebody had stolen the bike off the back of her car while she was sitting there. And so there are actually some scratches on the saddle and on the side of the bike that were not there before, that seemed to indicate that the bike fell off the back of her, off of her bike rack. But so the detective talked to him for a while, and then they stepped out of the car, and the detective asked us a few questions, and then the guy, you know, was standing there, and he said the detective told him that he could go. So they didn't make an arrest at the time, but you know, I'm sure they'll investigate the case further and determine if an arrest needs to be made. So the guy said, hey, can I say something, you know, before I leave? And the guy said, basically, he didn't steal the bike, that he had found it on the side of the road in a location which Mom would have driven past. And he looked around, tried to locate the owner, and stopped and put the bike in his car, and then continued to drive around Faulkner Park to try to locate the owners, but he wasn't able to locate the owner of the bike. So I believe, you know, that much of the story, that he did find the bike on the road. I don't know for sure how hard he actually tried to find the owner, but definitely posting it, you know, on Craigslist the next day is probably not the best way to help, you know, find the actual owner of the bike. So to be perfectly honest, I really do believe that the guy just made a bad decision, that he's not a career criminal, and he was a very clean-cut, nice-looking guy, and I don't want to give away his name or anything else about him, just so that it's not public. But he definitely made a bad decision in posting it on Craigslist and trying to turn it for a profit. But you know, I can almost imagine myself in the same situation. If you find a bike, you know, sitting on the side of the road, you're probably going to do what you can to find the owners. But if it's not real apparent who it is, you know, it's possible to go to a little bit deeper lengths to try to find, you know, go to a bike club or even go to the police department and to turn it in. So all of that said, Mom was actually there at the sting operation at the Walmart on Troop Highway, and she got to see her bike, and she was really happy that we got it back. So it was just a huge answer to prayer, and just a reminder that that God is with us, God is for us, even in the small things, and that that, you know, this wouldn't have been a big deal to some people, but just really showed that to us that God is faithful and that He cares about us. So that's pretty much it. You guys got any questions about how it went down? I did ask if it was necessary for me to wear body armor for this sting operation, but they said I shouldn't have to have that. So, and I'm also offering my services as an investigative.
No, he's not.
Detective. If you have a crime that needs solving, please let me know. I'm thinking about setting up my own agency here from my house. So, thanks for watching.